advertised also as the Parliament of the Republic for 3 commissioners in the Public Service Commission. Again, after receiving the candidates and nominees, we will also follow the process that we followed in appointing the public protector. Therefore, that will be our DNA as Parliament on these processes. And again, we thank all South Africans for having critiqued us, but we think we have the best formula now of transparency, but also the best formula to get the best South African into these important bodies that belong to our people. So that was the first issue we wanted to speak to. The second issue relates to the SABC. Colleagues will know, as I do, that the Portfolio Committee on Communications has called the SABC board to appear before that committee next week, Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And again, the board has been called because of the Supreme Court of Appeals judgment around the COO, which in our view put that matter to bed and to rest. But it looks like it is too far, still too far to be put to rest or to bed. Let's read the statement. The Office of the ANC Chief Whip in Parliament is gravely concerned by the ongoing situation at the SABC, which has seen the public broadcaster regularly occupying news headlines for all the wrong reasons, as it is as we speak. As the majority party in this Parliament that is responsible for the appointment of the SABC board and oversight over the broadcaster, we have been observing with dismay certain decisions taken by the board, some of which have been declared unlawful by our courts. The happenings at the public institution, which are taking place under the watch of the board, continue to be the cause for serious embarrassment, not only for the SABC, but for the country as a whole. The resignation of the Chief Executive Officer, the overturned suspension of several editorial staff, the reported controversial new editorial policy, as well as the many resignations and removal of board members do not augur well for the confidence and trust that the public ought to have in this important public asset. The SABC's role in a democratic society is to discharge its public service mandate towards South African citizens in a manner that gives concrete meaning to the constitutional provisions that advances the rights to receive and disseminate information. The great number of South Africans rely daily on the public broadcaster for quality news and entertainment, which enables their meaningful participation in the country's democratic processes. The shenanigans that have been unfolding at the SABC only serve to distract the public broadcaster from discharging its core public service mandate. The appointment of the corporation's former COO, whose previous appointment was also set aside by the courts, to another senior executive position is without a doubt the last straw that breaks the camel's back. The decision to reappoint the former COO is in complete violation of the judgment of both the High Court and the Supreme Court of Appeal. And it points to a management that has no respect for the rule of law. The decision is unlawful, and the board has a responsibility to immediately meet and rescind it. The deafening silence of the board and its apparent inability or unwillingness to swiftly intervene in the ongoing situation leaves much to be desired. It is clear that this board is failing spectacularly to exercise its fiduciary obligations, to steer the organization in line with the Broadcasting Act as amended and other governing laws. In this regard, we will recommend to Parliament to institute an inquiry into the fitness or otherwise of the current members of the board to lead the public broadcasting. As you will know, according to Section 15 of the Broadcasting Act, the National Assembly may, after a due inquiry, recommend the dissolution of the board if it fails in any of the following: discharging its fiduciary duties, adhering to the Broadcasting Charter, and carrying out its duties as contemplated in its founding act. The Portfolio Committee on Communications is empowered in terms of National Assembly Rule 227 to, amongst others, monitor, investigate, inquire into, and make recommendations concerning any such executive organ of the state, constitutional institution, or other body or institution. Close quote. We are confident that through such a process, Parliament will address and earnestly address and arrest the troubling and undesirable situation at the SABC in the interest of the South African public. Parliament will be failing in its responsibility if it allowed the deterioration situation at the SABC to continue as it is. The last issue that we would like to speak to, with, of course, a heavy heart, we have noted the judgment of the East London Regional Court on the fraud and theft case involving ANC member of Parliament in the National Assembly, Comrade Zuki Safaku. The court found Comrade Faku guilty on all 9 counts of fraud and theft, and she has been sentenced to house arrest for a period of 3 years. That house arrest, amongst others, includes what you will call public services as determined by the court. Corruption is a cancer that eats away our moral fiber as society and represents a serious onslaught against the public confidence in its public representatives. We agree with the judge in the case that the conduct of Comrade Faku, which includes abuse of municipal credit card when she was Buffalo City Mayor, was abusive of her position of trust. The ANC respects and accepts the judgment of the court and will ensure that it is implemented fully. In terms of Section 47 of the Constitution, an MP automatically loses membership of the House if she or he is, open quotes, convicted of an offense and sentenced to more than 12 months imprisonment without an option of a fine, close quote. The ANC will therefore begin a process of finding a replacement for the vacancy created as a consequence of this judgment. We thank you.
Thank you, Chief Whip. Without any waste of time, we are going to take questions, seeking questions, and in the meantime, there is a attendance register that is circulating. Okay, it has been filled already. Our parliamentary journalists are very efficient. They took them only 5 minutes to fill this thing while they are listening. They can multitask as well.
It's called multitasking.
Very commendable. Let's take clarity-seeking questions starting from this side. Gay, you'll follow. You'll be the second. Are you? Okay. You'll be the second, and then you'll be the third. Okay. You will be the fourth and the fifth. Let's take 5 and then we'll continue.
Thanks, Gay Davis, Eyewitness News. Chief Whip, have you discussed your call for the parliamentary inquiry? Is this, just for clarity, is this a call by caucus? Is this call coming from yourself as the Chief Whip, or as the NEC chair of the Communications Subcommittee? I'm assuming as Chief Whip. Have you discussed with the chair of the Portfolio Committee on Communications, Mr. Humphrey Makwana, because he's not seemed very willing or keen on stepping up to the plate in terms of Parliament's obligations in this regard? Thanks.
Thanks, Craig Dodds from Independent Media. A similar question. The Portfolio Committee had a meeting on the SABC, I think it was about a month ago, to deal with the matter of the editorial policy and the suspension of the journalists. And after being told that the SABC was in compliance with the CASA finding on the editorial policy and that the journalists had been reinstated, decided to just move on and let the matter go. So, I mean, my question is, why wait for a Supreme Court of Appeal judgment? Is Parliament not leaving too much of the burden to ensure compliance with the law?
Well, that was the ANC Chief Whip just outlining some of the downfalls of the SABC broadcaster and trying to get the answers out.